Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Choi family.
Hey guys.
Now this is something a little bit different to what we normally do because we don't really talk about celebrity culture and things like that. But everyone has been going crazy about what happened with the Oscars and Will Smith hitting Chris Rock.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. It's everywhere at the moment, and unfortunately it's taken away from Will Smith actually winning an Oscar.
His first one, wasn't it?
It's his first one after like 30 years. I think his career started back in 1990.
Okay.
So that's over 30 years. It's been a long time coming and it has taken the shine off it, hasn't it, unfortunately?
Big shame, really. Big shame.
But cutting a long story short, it was the Oscars just yesterday, wasn't it? And Chris Rock was the host, and Chris Rock is a comedian, and he was obviously poking fun at some of the members in the audience, which is what comedians do. But then Chris Rock decided to make a joke about Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, which was speaking about, he mentioned something about G.I. Jane, the film G.I. Jane. It says, we're looking for you for G.I. Jane 2. So basically G.I. Jane has a bald head and Jada Pinkett also has a bald head. But the reason why Jada Pinkett has a bald head is because she's spoken publicly since 2018 and has said that, spoken publicly about her struggle with alopecia. And alopecia is like an autoimmune disease which causes people to lose some or all of their hair. So she had to shave her hair basically so that the patches weren't noticeable. Will Smith went up on the stage and he got his hand and he slapped Chris across his face. I thought it was a punch personally, but then you said it was a slap, wasn't it? And then when I looked again, it was a slap. And then he walked back, sat down, and then he then verbalised, keep my wife's mouth, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth, basically. And he repeated that a couple of times, I think, didn't he? And that was the incident.
Well, yeah, so a lot of social media are kind of taking Will's side, saying, he stood up for his wife and, Chris disrespected Jada.
Do you think a lot of them are taking up for him?
From what I've read.
That's interesting.
But this was on like Birmingham Live or whatever.
Okay.
And I'm kind of really surprised. I'm thinking, since when did people get so overly sensitive that being disrespected verbally can mean that you can go and hit someone?
Yeah.
And say that that's okay? Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree with you.
So that's my general gist of things.
Okay.
Obviously, it's deeper than that. Like Chris Rock's been, making fun of the couple before, previous Oscars.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I think it was the Oscars back in 2016. And he did like an opening monologue. You guys probably remember it because he addressed the whole issue of why black people aren't nominated for the Oscars. And one of the jokes that he made was about Jada Pinkett saying, why are you boycotting the Oscars? You weren't invited, basically. That's cutting it short of what he said. So I think there was a bit of potentially bad blood from then. And I think that there's only so much that anyone can take, but it doesn't mean that physical violence should be condoned at the same time as well.
So what's your thoughts?
So my thoughts, firstly, I observed a couple of things. One of the things I observed was that Will Smith actually laughed at the joke when it was said initially. He was laughing at the other jokes and he laughed at that joke. And then Jada shook her head, and then that's when it all switched. He
thought, if I don't say anything now or do something, I'm going to get slapped.
Exactly.
I'm going to get back home.
Exactly. And I was like, the whole thing just looked a bit weird, and it wasn't edited in that way. That is exactly how it went down. So I was like, why did he switch? Did he not realise what the joke meant? Was he just laughing along, ha 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 ha? And he's like, wait there, G.I. Jane, she has a bald head. My wife has a bald head. And then he just kind of caught himself, because you can do that sometimes when you're in the moment and you're not quite really taking it all in. I think that I don't know I know why he switched because of Jada, but I think it may have been also because he realised what was said. But then to go up and slap him was just disappointing for me, to be honest with you, because I'm a fan of Will Smith and Chris Rock. Not that that really matters, to be honest, because right is right and wrong is wrong, but I am a fan of both. And I think that, firstly, Chris Rock should not have said what he said.
Why not?
Because, okay, yeah, you're poking fun, and I understand that, you know, with comedy, it is all about making jokes, and somebody from some group is going to be affected, unless you're going to be...
Especially with Chris Rock.
Yeah, Chris Rock is that comedian, and they were right at the front. Not that they shouldn't have sat at the front, but then that's just how it was, and he probably had the joke pre-planned from before. But then... For me, I just think that knowing that she has alopecia, she's spoken publicly about it for a few years. I think that was well below the belt, because alopecia is an autoimmune disease, and it's, you know, you don't know how it affects her behind closed doors. She looks confident. She's absolutely stunning. Like, not many people can carry off a shaved head, but then I know it's not necessarily something that she's chosen to have, but then at the same time, she's a stunning woman, but that doesn't take away from the fact that she may be going through a lot of confidence issues behind closed doors, and Will would be the one that would be seeing that as her husband. And so I just think it was very insensitive. There's some things that you might say, if, for example, she had a shaved head and she just decided to shave her head, would it have been wrong? Potentially, because there is a sort of a thing of when women shave their hair, it's like, oh, they're not attractive anymore, because, you know, there's a phrase that people say that, you know, your hair is your beauty. And I can see why people say that, but at the same time, we shouldn't be defined by our hair. But I digress. But I think that, personally, I think it was well below the belt. I just think when somebody's got a health condition, you just don't go there. There's some things you just don't go there. Health, if somebody has a disability, if somebody has like a health condition, you just don't go there. Race, I mean, now you're thinking, what can they go there with?
Well, exactly. So what kind of joke is okay? What kind of joke is above the belt?
Well,
and I'm pretty sure that there are people with disabilities and health conditions that can laugh along with a joke about it.
True. So because
I think we live in a world where people can be so overly sensitive.
That's true.
That, you know, you can't joke about anything. And then I'm thinking, the only joke that you can probably make up is just something that's about inanimate objects. So when I was younger, there was a joke called, there was a joke that was like, what did a big chimney say to the little chimney?
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're too young to smoke. And you think, oh, that's a safe joke. But I bet you there's probably like a chimney lover out there that gets offended by that joke. Oh, come on. Do you know what I mean? No. So where do we draw the line?
Where do you draw the line?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I did watch somebody, I can't remember who it is. Was it Trevor Noah? I think it was Trevor Noah that was saying that he did a disability joke, and I was like, oh, and he said, you guys might think I'm taking this too far, but he actually had somebody that said, you know what, Trevor, I love your jokes, but why don't you ever poke fun at us people that have disabilities? You're leaving us out here. So I thought, you know what, fair enough. That was his opinion. That was one man's opinion, and Trevor took that and he decided to do a joke about disabled people. Will Smith is a very articulate man, and his he
articulated with his
hands. Yeah. And I've always looked up to him and seen him as somebody that knows how to conduct himself very well. And
they talk about it on the Red Table show, don't they? Love and Respect.
Yeah, they do. On Will. So basically, that's Jada Pinkett's platform that she's on. And yeah, they do speak a lot about, you know, respect and all of those sort of things. I understand that we are imperfect as humans, and we're not claiming to be perfect just because we're commenting on this. But ultimately, I do feel that violence is never the answer. And yeah, you know, you do poke. If you poke and you poke, you know, the phrase is the same when you poke. I think we saw it on, what's his name? Tyrese mentioned it actually, about if you poke a bear, after a while, you know, he may look fuzzy and cute and what have you, but at the end of the day, his claws will come out and he will come for you. And I think that's what happened with Will Smith, where he was being poked at, not just by Chris Rock, but obviously...
By Jada?
Who knows? But that's a whole other topic. Yeah, and I think that he it was his breaking point, clearly. But I just didn't think he would go there, personally. Will is somebody, as I said, he's very articulate, he's a philanthropist, and he's just really put himself out there as somebody that is very well-rounded, and he's all about respect for other people and respect for yourself, and he always has so many nuggets of wisdom, and I've always admired him. So it just seems so out of character. I was like, was he drunk? What was he on? Because it just seems so out of character. And I think that he said what he said, and that was still too much. I didn't think he needed to swear, but you know what, at the end of the day, he was angry, and we've all said things that we shouldn't have said. But I think that he could have, but he's a comedian as well himself, so I thought he would have come back and roasted Chris himself, and I think that would have been better if he used his voice and just told Chris X, Y and Z and just left it at that. But then for him to walk up and then just slap him and walk back down, and then after...
Why was it... Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, and after they had the after party and he was with his Oscar and just smiling like nothing ever happened. And fair enough, that was his moment of glory that he's been waiting for, and what else was he meant to have done? And I actually admired him in a way for not letting anything stop him from having that moment with his family. But then at the same time, I just felt like it was tarnished by his actions, you know, and I just think he could have verbalised, he could have gone back on the stage and said, you know what, I didn't appreciate that, and he could have said it in his own comedic way or whatever and just roasted Chris. But slapping him, I just thought, well, did you really have to do that? You know you didn't have to do that. I'm sure you're going to regret that. And then he didn't even apologise to Chris, he just apologised to the Academy Awards.
No, he owned it. He owned the moment.
He owned it. So what are you thinking? Because you said about Chris, because you said that, you know, with Chris he said what he said, and you think that it was below the belt, but then at the same time, what
it was normal.
It was normal because he does roast people.
Chris Rock, you know, that's Chris Rock, and a lot of stand-up comedians do that.
They do,
I mean?
Yeah.
And the award show knew that that's what, you know, Chris Rock would be doing.
Yeah.
So people shouldn't be surprised.
But was it right?
I feel like with comedy, anything should go.
Wow.
I think you either accept all of it or none of it. Like, you can't be picky. You can't laugh at some jokes about certain people, and then when it's about you or your wife, you know, you decide to slap someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I wouldn't appreciate it if you slapped somebody because they decided to say something to me. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I mean, as much as I want you to defend me, I wouldn't want you to slap them. I wouldn't be happy about that either.
What would you want
just to verbalise to them back and just say, what do you think you're saying about my wife? Excuse me, you never speak to my wife like that again, do you hear me?
But you know what my theory is? So my theory is this. So rewind back a few years with Jada Pinkett being with the singer August Alsina.
Oh, you're going there. It was digging up things from
Will
the past.
Will Smith saying that, you know, he was okay with it and, you know, it was fine or whatever.
They have an open relationship, don't they?
Well, she said that it wasn't open, but it was a grown up relationship.
Oh, okay.
So, and there were lots of jokes about, you know, just Will Smith just taking it and being disrespected by Jada, and I think that probably made him feel. I know how it made me feel. It made me feel not like a man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you've been
that happened to me.
emasculated.
So I feel like...
Is that the right word?
Maybe, yeah. So I feel like with all that's happened, you know, this was like the icing on the cake. Or the tip of the iceberg. I don't know what it is.
No, but then that's the tip of the iceberg. But then you would think he would lash out at Jada then, surely?
No.
He's lashed out at
he decided to lash out at the shorter guy.
I see where you're coming with this. Okay.
And he thought, right, I'll show you, I'm the man. You know what I mean? And it's funny that he's showing the world that he's the man by slapping someone. You know what I mean? You would have thought that it would be like.
Well, he's certainly not showing he's the man. I think, yeah.
But so that's my theory. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, we don't know. We can't speculate. Do you know what I mean? We're just giving our opinions and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, does it even matter? Do you know what I mean?
It does matter because he's a public figure, and then also, and I think that there are people like myself who look up to him, but who knows the difference between, you know, right and wrong. And I certainly wouldn't want you defending me like that. But there are people out there that will think, gosh, go Will. Yes, that's how you deal with it, because his son did tweet that and then he took it down. And I can see why his son felt like that, because that's his mama. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I know, like
back in school, like everyone just insulting everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like people talk
the
about
mama jokes, isn't it?
mamas and stuff like that. So if we're condoning this, we're just saying like just kids can just fight over that. Do you know what I mean? So
for me, I just think that even though I'm not affected by it in the sense that I'm not going to all of a sudden think that, oh yeah, that's how you handle your business, you know. Oh dear, sorry, I do apologise, guys. That's I'm not going to say blah, blah, blah. So I don't feel that that's how business should be handled. I don't feel that that's how you respond to insults, no matter how mad you may be. But at the same time, everybody has a breaking point, and so do I. So I'm not saying that, oh yeah, I would like to think I would never do that. But you don't know until you're in the situation sometimes.
Just don't go to the show that you know is going to have Chris Rock presenting it.
Yeah, exactly. Because
actually, but you're getting an Oscar.
I love Chris Rock, I find him so funny. But he was not funny with that joke, in my opinion. But there'll be younger people that look up to Will, and unfortunately they're going to think, you know what, that's how you defend your woman, that's how you defend your girl. You know, if somebody says something to you, you don't just sit there and take it. You slap them across the face or punch them or what have you. And for me, I did say to Yitman when it first happened, I said, you know what, if he's doing that publicly, what's he doing behind closed doors? It did make me think that of Will, and maybe I'm wrong to think that, because maybe it was just an outside thing where he's so in love with his wife that he does not want anything said about her. But the fact that he laughed and then switched, that's what kind of made me think that, you know, what's going on behind closed doors, because you do that in front of everybody on the night that you're due to win an Oscar, then what's your behaviour like at home, you know?
Well, she looks like she's the one in control.
Do you think so? Do you think she looks like she wears the trousers?
I think so.
Really? I've never really thought that. I think she's a strong woman. I think that's fine. I think that's probably why he fell in love with her, because she's a strong woman. But I don't think necessarily being a strong woman means that you wear the trousers in a relationship, because I think that I'm a strong woman, but I don't wear the trousers in our relationship, you know. And I think that, I just think it doesn't mean that at all, personally. But on another topic, for me, what other things popped in your head about the whole thing?
I read on social media that there was this one post from a woman. I didn't see a picture of what she looked like, but she called Will a thug, and said, like, you know, he just acted like a thug, and it was just like a thuggish behaviour. And I'm sorry, but Will Smith does not and has never looked like a thug, and has never acted like a thug. Never. Do you know what I mean? Like today or last night, you know, he went a bit, you know,
he went too far,
mad and stuff. But thug and him, you know, I've never linked the two together.
No, mate.
So I'm thinking, the word thug, just sounded like, you know, the times when newspapers talk about black people, and you know, whenever like you get a violent black person, sorry, not a violent black person. Whenever you get a black person that acts violently, they label them as a thug, and when it's a white person or person of another colour, they say it's like, I don't know, troubled man or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of that again.
No, it's true.
And unfortunately, you know, we shouldn't have to bring race into it.
No, we shouldn't.
Because it's just a couple and a guy, you know, sorting out their issues and
it was two
stuff.
black men.
But because it was two black guys, unfortunately, it's gonna not help the cause of
trying to just squash the stereotype of the angry black man. So unfortunately, I think that the whole stereotype of the angry black man has been really honed into by people like, you know, that have had that notion for many years, and they're just kind of latching onto it type thing of like, here you go again, another black man that's angry, another angry black man, and it's his. I think at the end of the day, it could have been anybody, and the fact is, he was an angry man. End of story. He was pushed, he was triggered, and it doesn't condone what he did, because I certainly was not for what his behaviour. It was, I think he went well below the belt with slapping Chris. He should not have done that whatsoever.
That's our view anyway on this. Something a bit different. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you think that what Chris Rock said was below the belt or not.
Yeah.
What is allowed comedy and what isn't, what shouldn't be allowed, and let us know of, what you think of what Will did. Was he right or wrong? Do you agree with it or not?
Exactly, yeah. Then, that's the thing. We want to hear back from you because, we're having a conversation here and we're not sort of saying that our opinion is right. We're just giving you our opinion on the whole situation and unbiasedly as possible. But yeah, please let us know whether you agree, whether you disagree, what your thoughts are of the whole thing, what your reactions were initially, whether you've changed your viewpoint now as well, because I think I've fleeted it back and forth with trying to kind of put myself in the minds of Will and Chris. But yeah, these are our opinions. So yeah.
If you like the video, please click like.
Thumbs up, please.
And we will see you next time.
Absolutely.
Take care. Peace out.
Peace out.